A brutal display of power tennis from Jelena Ostapenko. She was well down in that second set, but she roared back.
They said she couldn't win on clay. She proved them wrong against Grabber. And tonight, against a former Grand Slam champion on the red dirt of Linz, she went to war for an hour and 42 minutes and came within 6 points of extending her reign. 6 points, not 6 games, not 6 sets. 6 tiny, brutal points separated Alexandra Eala from Jelena Ostapenko across 2 punishing sets on European clay. If you think this loss defines a player who doesn't belong on this surface, you didn't watch the match. You saw a scoreline. And a scoreline is a lie when the truth lives in the numbers. Stop everything, turn up the volume, put your phone on airplane mode. This is the video the tennis establishment does not want you to see going viral. They want you to glance at the final score, 4-6, 5-7, scroll past, and label Eala as just a hard-court player who can't handle clay. They want the story neat, simple, sanitized. Hard-court specialist loses on clay to a Grand Slam champion, case closed. Nothing to see here. But I'm about to crack open the case file and show you exactly what happened on Court Central in Linz tonight, point by point, stat by stat. Because when you dissect this match with tactical precision, what you see is not defeat. What you see is a declaration of war. 74 points to 68. That's the total. Ostapenko, the 4th seed, 2017 French Open champion, a woman whose forehand has terrorized opponents on clay for years, won just 6 more points than a 2-0 year. Old Filipino playing her second competitive clay match of the season. 6. In a sport where one missed return, one netted forehand, one double fault at the wrong moment can swing an entire set, 6 points is not dominance. It's survival. Ostapenko didn't dominate. She survived. Let's break down the stat sheet because it tells a story the final score desperately hides. First serve percentage, Eala landed 88% of her first serves. 88% on clay in just her second match on the surface this season. That's elite. Ostapenko, with 500-plus career matches, hit 83%. Eala outserved a Grand Slam champion in first serve accuracy by 5 points. Let that sink in. On first serve points, Eala won 52%, Ostapenko 54%. Nearly identical. 2 percentage points a rounding error. A coin landing on its edge. Neither player dominated when the serve landed. It was trench warfare, 2 soldiers firing at each other from opposing bunkers. And that tells you everything about Eala tonight. She wasn't outclassed. She wasn't overwhelmed. She was toe-to-toe with a former Grand Slam champion on clay. But here's where the match was truly decided. Listen carefully. Because this is the tactical lesson. Second serve win percentage. Ostapenko 67%, Eala 0%. 0. Let that number burn. Every time Eala missed her first serve, Ostapenko won the point. On clay, the second serve sits up perfectly for attack. And Ostapenko's forehand topspin that rockets above shoulder height turned every second serve into an execution. She stood inside the baseline, read the delivery, and unleashed shot after shot with lethal precision. No recovery, no rally construction, no air to breathe. But here's the part the establishment won't tell you. This is not a mental flaw, not a character flaw. It's a tactical adjustment, fixable on the practice courts in Mallorca next week. It's a spin rate issue, placement issue. The difference between a second serve that drifts wide to a backhand and one that lands in the forehand danger zone, and the Rafael Nadal Academy, the single best place on earth to fix exactly this. Coaches who trained the greatest clay court player in history know how to turn a second serve into a weapon against top attackers. This isn't a crisis, it's a lesson. And Eala, the student of the game she is, will absorb it and return sharper, heavier, and more ruthless on second serve than tonight. Now, let's talk breakpoints, the chessboard of this battle. Ostapenko earned 9, converted 6. 67% clinical. That's the efficiency of a Grand Slam champion with hundreds of high-pressure moments on clay. Eala also had 9, converted 4. 44%. 2 breakpoints away from potentially flipping the match. 2 tiny moments where the ball clipped the tape, where the rally ended 1 shot too early. 2 points. And yet, Eala defeated a former French Open champion in the head-to-head for the first time. The margin between glory and heartbreak was thinner than a razor blade. Ostapenko won 13 games to 9. Her max streak? 6 consecutive games a set and a half crammed into one avalanche. When her forehand painted the lines and backhand whistled past, she didn't just win points, she buried her opponent under a cascade of winners. One critical stretch gave her the lead, but Eala clawed back with a 4-game streak of her own. The second set ended 5-7. Eala pushed the former champion to the edge. Ostapenko was uncomfortable, gripping tighter, feeling the pressure. She committed 11 double faults. 11. Even a seasoned Grand Slam champion was rattled. Eala gave up only 5 double faults, but a 0% second serve win rate on clay was the bullet that got through. Returning tells another story. Eala won 34 return points, Ostapenko 35. 1 point difference. Essentially, identical. The gap? Service points. Eala 34, Ostapenko 39. 5 points decided the match. 5. That's it. This is not a failure. It's a warning to the rest of the tour. Eala matched a Grand Slam champion on first serve points, on returns, clawed back from a 6-game streak, and was 6 points from victory in only her second clay match of 2026. The Lind Open director called her unbelievable before the tournament. Tonight, she proved it unbelievable competitiveness, resilience, and near upset-level brilliance. The clay season doesn't stop. Stuttgart, Madrid, French Open, 3 more chances to refine, to drill second serve, to turn 0% into 60%. When that happens, the player who nearly beat Ostapenko tonight will become the one who does. Current head-to-head, Eala 2-1 Ostapenko. Both wins on other surfaces. Clay chapter? Still unwritten. But after every session at Nadal's academy, after mastering her one flaw, the next time they meet, Ostapenko will face a player transformed. Her 2026 clay record? From 14-21 before the swing, to 15-22 after defeating Grabber and nearly toppling a Grand Slam champion. The curve is bending. The player who once lost 6 matches on clay is now a warrior on red dirt, evolving to conquer rather than endure. Eala Army, this is your mission. Share this video not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Show the world 115 million Filipinos never abandon their warrior. Flood the comments with tactical breakdowns. Analyze her movement, her top spin, her second serve adjustments. Plan her attack on Stuttgart, Madrid, the French Open. Alexandra Eala doesn't make excuses. She makes adjustments. The Lind match wasn't the end. It was the opening chapter. 4-6, 5-7, a single fixable stat, and a 2-0-year-old warrior who matched a Grand Slam champion in everything but one metric and still almost won. They said she couldn't win on clay. She did. They said she couldn't compete with champions. 6 points away. The wall is crumbling. Stuttgart is next.